Today on Her Many Faces, we're going to be sampling cheese from Cheesy Place. This is not a paid promotion. This box opening video is a gift that was sent to us from our family in Alberta. Thank you guys so much. We really enjoyed it. It was a date night cheese sampler from Cheesy Place, and it was delectable. Thank you. There was inside the box a business card, some stickers, a little thank you card. I'd also like to apologize up front for my really bad use of French words. I'm so sorry, Miss Pierre, who taught me French. She would just not like this. So first is the crackers, which were these lovely rosemary crackers. We really enjoyed them. It was a nice finish with the cheeses. And inside the package that kept everything cold, our first item is the black garlic jelly. And let me just say, this was so good! Like really, really tasty. Something different like I've never had before. And we really enjoyed it. It was a nice added feature. Our first cheese today is the Kamote, which is one of France's oldest cheese and most important cheeses. This 2-year cave-aged version of Kamote is wonderfully sweet, nutty, and smooth with a salty finish. Up next is the meat, a dried meat from France. This was actually imported. That cheese and this meat, as well as one of the other cheeses, were all imported from France. And then the Chamese, which was imported from France, which is a soft, creamy, springy textured French cheese with a special brine that creates a very unique flavor. Then the Bose Cheese, which is actually from Ontario, and it has like a seasonal beer from Ontario's brewer Bose. I think that's where it gets its name. And that just has a suttery little buttery note to it, which was really divine. And so this is all the contents in the box, and I'm going to quickly put it together on a platter like magic. And then I'm going to do a little taste test for you all and let you know what we think. It's a real review of really good food that I can already tell you I really liked. So tune in. We are back, and here is the charcuterie board. We've got all 3 cheeses, the crackers, the jelly, and the salami or dried meat. I don't technically know if it's a salami because I don't know if that's French. So let's dig in. There is apparently a specific way or order in which you should be eating the cheeses. So these cheeses were imported from France, and that's why they can actually call this the Kamote, because it's actually from that region. So we're going to start at the Chamese. I believe that's how you say it, but I'm not entirely sure I'm accurate. And that is supposed to be a little bit more similar to a brie. It is a softer cheese. When I unwrapped it, it seemed structurally just a little softer than probably you'd like, so I probably could have put it in the fridge first, but who wants to wait? And it did say in the breakdown that this cheese can be eaten with the rind. So I'm just going to try it with the rind. I'm going to try the cheese as is first, and then I'll try it with a cracker. It's really soft. It definitely tastes almost, I want to say it has like a citrus vibe to it, almost like it is a bit sparkling. I don't know if that's the, oh Bailey, this is not for you, honey. I don't know if that's from the rind or actually the cheese itself. So I'm going to put that on the cracker. This cracker is the rosemary and extra virgin olive oil. So whenever I'm eating any bread product with a topping, I always like to make sure that my topping is like 3 times the size of the bread product. And that's kind of just how I enjoy my food. So I'm just going to give these 2 a try. I really like the texture of the cheese. It's really creamy. And that like citrusy flavor that's almost like a white wine or something. It's really nice. It goes well with the cracker. I do wonder though, how is it going to fare if I do add in some of this black garlic jelly? I'm just going to take the smallest amount of jelly. I'm going to put the jelly on the cracker first. I think that's more structurally stable. Again, it's just a very small amount of jelly, and I did try the jelly off camera first to make sure I liked it, and I did. I enjoyed it. I don't want to ruin good cheese with a jelly I don't enjoy. Wow, I really like that pairing. I really like how the jelly brings out the other aspects of the cheese. Like, I feel like I can really taste the more bitter side of that cheese, because Bries are typically more smooth, and this Chamese follows that same category with that hint of citrusy, but then it takes a whole new flavor palette on when you add the jelly, and I kind of like that. It was like eating a different cheese, and for me that's just fun when you can marry different flavors together and have a completely different experience. It really shows how elevated the food is. So I really enjoyed that, and I think you would too if this was a cheese you got and you're a cheese lover. Next, we're going to move on to the Bose cheese. That's the cheese that was done in the beer. So I'm going to try the cheese like I did with the first one, just the cheese first. Then I'll try it with a cracker, and we'll see if I think it will marry well with the garlic spread. It smells really strong, and when I was unwrapping it, it was a little bit more like moist. There was a little more moisture in it. If I were to guess what this cheese was just by looking at it, to me it looks like a Swiss cheese without holes. That's the kind of categories that I put it in, so I'm interested to see what it tastes like. Wow, it really tastes like a cheddar. It's interesting because it's so much softer than a cheddar, and I don't know if that's because it hasn't been in the fridge for as long as it had needed to be, but that profile, you know, that feeling that you get at the back of your mouth when you eat like a sharp cheddar, it has that as well. I'm not really feeling any of the beer notes, but I do like it. I'm going to pair it with a cracker and see what it tastes like then. Alright, let's see if I got my dimensions right. Yep, there is way more cheese on this cracker than there is cracker. Let's give it a try. That really changed how it tasted. I think the earthiness of the rosemary really made the sourness of that sharp cheddar vibe come to life. I think I like it. I feel like I've had this kind of cheese before, so it's not something that I'm like, oh my goodness, I've never had something like this before, but it's a good cheese, and I think it would go over well if you had a party or something like that. I like it. I would eat that cheese. I'm not gonna pass on that cheese. I decided garlic jelly would be nice with this cheese. That's the way to eat that cheese. It just really balances it out because it's not, you feel the sharpness, but it still has a ways to go. It's not just like completely sharp in your mouth, if that makes sense. I don't know how else to explain it. You're not here, you're not living in my mouth, but that's what it felt like for me. Alright, let's try the other cheese. That is a much firmer cheese. You can definitely it's still flexible, so it's not going to break on you, but when I was trying to do the cut, it definitely was firmer to do. That's a really smooth cheese. I wouldn't say that there's any one overpowering flavor. I like it. This is something I definitely would eat with a fresh berries or something like this, and I think a good wine would just really take this cheese to another level. So I wonder what kind of wine pairings they do recommend. I don't have any wine in the house right now, so we're just doing meat and cheese. For me, the two textures of the hard cheese and the cracker, it's not really it. The flavors are okay, but it's not my favorite. I'm going to try with the jelly. I think just the cracker and cheese was super dry. The jelly adds that bit of moisture, so it's not too dry in your mouth. It has a better mouthfeel. And flavor wise, I honestly think this cheese is just better on its own. It's a nice cheese. I enjoyed it when it was just straight up that cheese. It's pretty good with the garlic spread on top. But again, I don't think I would eat that cheese with that cracker. It's just too many dry things, and I prefer something a little bit more experiential when it comes to a mouthfeel in the food. The next thing we have to try is the meat. As stated, this did come from France as well as the two other cheeses, so it's an imported product. It is on the fattier sides. You can definitely see the fat buildup in there, which is nice for these dried cured meats. I enjoyed the meat. It definitely doesn't have any of those other flavors. It's more of a neutral flavored meat product, which I enjoy, and I did like it. I think the reason why I would enjoy that is because you could pair it with a cheese, and it's not going to take away from the cheese variety. So right here I have the Bose beer cheese, and I think because that one I had the most flavors going on, might be nice with the meat product, so I'm just going to give that a try. That is a very good match. The textures are really nice going together because they're so different, and because the cheese is a little bit more sour and has that cheddar crispness, the mellowness of the meat kind of just folds in nicely. Yeah, so this is the cheese platter. I would definitely recommend this. It's really nice to be able to send gifts and receive gifts from loved ones. The whole experience was really fun because opening the box, setting out a nice little charcuterie. When you're missing your family, and if this is something you do together with your family like we do, every Christmas Eve we typically will have a charcuterie board together. So it's really nice to kind of have those moments and those memories even at a distance. I really enjoyed this. Thank you so much, Cheesy Place. I hope that you guys continue to make great products and import awesome cheeses, as well as have local cheeses like the Bose Cheese. This was a very delicious spread, and I probably would buy one for myself. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye!